Welcome. In front of me is an HTC Desire 20 Plus, and today I'll show you a couple of tweaks and tricks you can do on this device. So, starting off, we're going to begin with the probably most common one, which is the dark mode. So, get started, open up settings, navigate to the display section, and you'll find the, at least here it's called the dark theme, but it's basically the same thing. So you can either tap on it to enable it, as you can see. You can also tap on the text, and this will allow you to set up a schedule. So benefit of the schedule would be that once enabled, the device will determine based on the time if it should be in dark mode or light mode. So you'll get what I would call best of both worlds. During night, dark mode; during day, light mode. So during day you can actually see the display during sunlight, and at night you won't be basically blinded by the screen. So thumbs up for basically best solution here. And then moving on, while we're already in the display, to another section, it's going to be the color, or colors as it's called here. Basically, it refers to screen and how it displays different colors. So it can be saturated, a little bit desaturated, or natural. As you can see with the natural, and here it's boosted or adaptive. But the easiest way to see the difference is just kind of switch between them and see what kind of effects it has, which either I am blind or... Okay, there is a tiny bit of a difference between boosted and adaptive. And there is also a super tiny difference between natural and boosted. So honestly, if you see much of a difference here, or if you prefer one over the other, go right ahead and change it. Honestly, personally to me, those are super insignificant here. But hey, in certain cases it might look a little bit different. This might not be the best image also to showcase it, because this is just kind of a single image. Most of the devices have several images just so you can cycle through them, and on some of them it will be more visible than on the others, specifically when it deals with some different colors. But anyway, moving on to the next option, it's going to be the system navigation, which will allow you to remove the buttons from the bottom and substitute them for the gesture navigation. And in here we have the normal gesture navigation, the one that probably everybody would want to have or use, because before Google had implemented gesture navigation with the pill, so it made the basically home button a little bit wider, but it was basically still buttons, just worked differently. But here we have actual gesture navigation under the system, gestures, and system navigation. So simply enable this, and as you can see, it will give you this tiny little pill bar at the bottom. Swipe up on it to go home, swipe up and hold to go to recent, and swipe from the side to go back. As you can see, it will bring up this arrow. So yeah, now if you never used gesture navigation, I will give you a little bit of a tip for at least the home and recent gesture, because some people might struggle with this one. So when you're trying to use that gesture, don't swipe on the screen up, even though I just kind of did it right here. I accepted the gesture, but sometimes it might not work. So when you are somewhere, as you can see, you might not grab it low enough, so it won't really accept the gesture. So to combat this problem, when you really want to go home or into recent, swipe off of the screen onto it, like so. So this will ensure that you always get the gesture correctly. Now moving on to the another option, it will be the remove animation option. Now by default I'll show you also the other way of achieving this, a little bit more complicated, but since there is a really fast way of doing this from accessibility section in the settings, scroll down and select remove animation, and there we go. That's as simple as it gets. So as you can see now, there is basically no animation, and for instance opening up, it just pops into view, recent pops into view, full screen pops into view. So allows you to access apps a little bit quicker removing this animation. Now there's also a what I would call in-between option, but that will require you to enable the developer options, and then scroll almost all the way down to Also animations, there will be 3 different animations there: animation speed, animation or window animation scale, animation duration scale, and animation or window animation, something like that. And you can select in there from different speeds. Default is 1. If you go to 0.5, it will be twice as fast. So you will still have animation, but it won't be well, removed as it is right now. So if that is something that you would like to do, then you can find it under the developer options. And moving on to the last option, it's going to be the split screen, which you can find in the recent applications by tapping on the app that is open. As you can see, it will give you this tiny little bar right here. Once you tap on it, it will open that app on the top, and from here you can split screen with some other app. Now, if the other app that you want to split screen with isn't visible here, then you can simply go home and find it in here, as you would normally do on the home screen. So let me just open up, let's say, Contact. There we go. And as you can see, you can use 2 different apps at the same time. And once you're done, you can either extend one to full screen, close it, or just kind of go home and keep on open. Now this works super well with YouTube. So if I show you what I mean, let's go to YouTube, split screen, and now I can open up some kind of other app. Now when YouTube is open in split screen and on top, when you go home, it will not pause the video, so it will continue to play so you can do other things. Now it will pause it once you actually lock the device, so just keep that in mind. But anyway, this would conclude all the tweaks and tricks that I want to share with you, and if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.